Hello, this week we're going to be talking about creative strategy or strategy statement. And this is a key component to this class. When you're coming up with a creative campaign, you will need a strategy statement. And they're pretty straightforward. It's the plan that you have for the client to be able to execute your creative ideas. First part of coming up with a strategy is, defining the problem that you have. All creative campaigns have a problem to solve. For example, the client may have a new product. No one knows about it, so you need to get some name recognition in there. You got to tell the customer what the product is about, what the organization is about. So you're basically doing an introduction to whoever your client is. You may have to just increase name recognition. A famous example of that is Aflac. Aflac's been around long before the duck was around, and it stands for American Family Life and Casualty. Basically, it's insurance for people who already have insurance. And at the time, they had maybe a name recognition in the low 20s. 20% of the population knew what Aflac was. And I think those 20% were actually lying. But after the duck ad, they were able to raise their name recognition up to more than 80%. So that shows that a good creative campaign that grabs your attention can solve the problem of name recognition pretty quickly. Perhaps your client needs to grow sales. They've been out there for a while. Everyone knows their name, but sales have been dragging lately. So you're reminding customers about the client. You're reinvigorating the brand, so to speak. You may have to go into new markets. Maybe your client has only been in the Midwest, but they'd like to expand into the Eastern Seaboard, into the South. So you would need to come up with a creative way to reach those new potential customers in the future. Brand identification or brand building, kind of already touched on that briefly. And a brand is when you link a name to an idea. For example, ESPN. When you say ESPN, you think sports. That's good branding. When you think of Disney, you may think of family-friendly entertainment. Good branding. A good creative campaign can draw those lines between a company name and what they do or what they want to be identified for. Sometimes you just need to provide some information to the customer. For example, let's say they've changed their hours. Whatever the business is, they change their hours, and you want all the customers to know about that. Well, there could be some fun, creative ways of doing that. So that would be your job, and you would come up with a strategy statement that would solve that problem for the client. And then, of course, influence decision makers. There are people who, for a company, buy the paper, buy the copiers, buy the pens. And how to reach those people? Well, you need to have a creative campaign to solve the problem of how do we get those people's attention so we can sell our product to them. There is one approach that we can take, and that's the 3-point approach. And it starts off with who or what is the competition. So let's talk about McDonald's. Who's their competition? Well, you got Burger King, you got Wendy's, you have other fast food places that's, sort of like them, like a Hardee's or Arby's or something like that. So see what they're doing, see how they're successfully reaching their customer or not reaching their customer. What kind of tone do they have? Is it happy and silly? You may not want to go the same route as them, or you want to be happier or sillier. So, tell us who your competition is and what they're doing. Then, much like with target audience, who are the customers or consumers for your client? And if you have a well-defined target audience, that question easy to answer. And what do we feel the target audience needs to know, feel, or understand? Well, this gets deeper into it, and since we just got done talking about research, maybe there's something about the company that the audience doesn't know about that you found out on your research, or you did a survey and not a lot of of our target audience actually knows the company's name. So, make a list of what the target audience needs to know, feel, or understand, and that'll help you build toward this creative campaign. One of my favorite parts of thinking about a strategy is the unique selling proposition, or sometimes called a unique selling point. I like proposition better. And anyway, what makes your client unique? Is there a unique benefit or characteristic that your client provides? With McDonald's, is there a unique benefit? Well, McDonald's is well known. The product's the same no matter where you get it. It's a little different if you go overseas, but not that much. And it's a known commodity. It comes out fast. It's cheap. I suppose other fast food places provide that type of benefit, but McDonald's is the best at it. And what can or does set you apart from the competition? With McDonald's, they're the best. They're, the most known. They're the leaders in the industry. They're more creative. They're more ubiquitous. That's a good word for it. So think about what makes the product or company different, and that's usually a very good way of coming up with a creative idea. And we'll talk more about ideas next week when it comes to creating the campaign. What are some things that humans need that our client may be able to provide? One, popularity. If you wear our sweatshirts, they'll make you popular. You buy our brand of toothpaste, it'll make you popular. Is that true? Well, things like popularity is a little mushy. So, being able to say, if you eat Tic Tacs, you'll be more popular. Well, you can share Tic Tacs, so maybe that would make you more popular. So, that's one of the things that we as human beings have a need for, strive for, thirst for, that we can use in our campaign. Of course, people need love. And, whenever you look at perfume commercials, they're not selling the perfume. Most of the times you can't smell the perfume. So, how do you advertise that this product makes you smell really good? Well, show that when you use the product, you get love. When you buy this sports car, you will find love. Power, always a human need there. If you wear our watch, people will see you as powerful. If you wear our brand of shoes, it's a power symbol, so people will follow you. Family, if you go to our school, elect our candidate, join our organization, it'll be good for your family. Health, that's one you see a lot of. If you eat our product, it's healthier for you. If you take our medicine, you'll feel better and be healthier. And if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. If we've learned anything during this pandemic is, our health is very important. So, if your product or client can provide that, definitely emphasize it. Joy. Maybe your client can somehow bring joy to your target audience. Maybe not, say, Coca-Cola, but you can still sell that concept. I'm thinking more along the lines of maybe like, I don't know, some kind of charity. If you donate an organ, or say you will be an organ donor. I don't think you could just donate an organ, but if you are an organ donor, you may bring joy to a family who may have lost a loved one if they didn't get the transplant. Something along those lines. Comfort and convenience, I think they go together. At DoorDash, very convenient. You just click on the app and food shows up at your door. How comforting and convenient. If you wash your clothes in our detergent, it'll clean your clothes quickly, and they'll be more comfortable. So look into your research that you do, since we know all about research now, and try to pick out what human needs does our client or our product or whatever we're trying to persuade people to do. What are these human needs does that client provide? Brand, I already said, is when you kind of associate a name or a company with an idea or a concept. So, if you think of, let's say, Nike, shoe company, means to be athletic. How do you make your Nike brand stand out? Well, you come up with great campaigns, creative campaigns. Just do it. Show your logo everywhere. So when people go to sporting events, they see the logo. When they buy your clothes that are sports clothes, they associate it with sports. Buy the shoes associated with running. So you make that connection between Nike and sports. It makes you stand out from the crowd. It basically gives your client a personality. Take Ben & Jerry's ice cream. It's just gourmet ice cream, made with healthy ingredients. But what makes them stand out is, they were a couple of hippies that founded the company, and they give a certain amount of money to causes they believe in. So when people hear Ben & Jerry's, they think of funny names, good ice cream, but also made from hippies. So the company has a personality. Disney has a personality. McDonald's, it has a personality. So, the more you can associate your company or client with a certain idea or concept, branding, the more you can create the idea of a personality. It'll make you stand out. And also it will invoke certain emotions. When you think of, say, Jared Jewelers, they try to provoke an emotion when you hear the name Jared's. He went to Jared's. Oh, meaning when this guy decided to ask this woman to marry, well, I guess this have to be a woman, but when this person decided to get engaged, they went to a place that is known for their quality jewelry. So, it evokes that emotion of, oh, this is the best for this situation. Let's see, Coca-Cola, one of their early campaign slogans was Coca-Cola adds life. Yeah, well, sugar water with caffeine in it. Yeah, it's going to give you a little more energy, a little more life. And so, they try to associate the idea of drinking Coca-Cola with being happier, having a vibrant life, and being full of life. So, making that connection between Coca-Cola and the emotion of liveliness. VIPs is an acronym. It stands for Visibility, Identification, Promise, and Simplicity. So ask yourself, does this client have the visibility they want? How do we create this visibility? Today, as I'm recording this, was the Super Bowl. Having an ad during the Super Bowl will increase the visibility of your client, whatever you're trying to do, from accident insurance to potato chips. Identification, once again, going back to branding, what identity does your client have? Is that something you want to continue? Is this something you want to change? Promise, we'll talk about this more next week, but when your audience actually patronizes the client, what promise do you make to them? If you drink Coca-Cola, we promise a quick burst of energy. If you buy your engagement ring at Jared's, you will, fill that moment with love. Oh, okay. Kind of a mushier promise there, but still there. And then finally, simplicity. Is our message to our potential target audience clear? It doesn't have to be explained. Is it too abstract for them to understand? Or is it simple enough for them to get what's going on? So that's it about our strategy statement. And your homework assignment will be coming up with a strategy statement based on a checklist in the book. It's on Canvas for the cookie companies that you've done the research for. So, we're building along. We're going to be creative. We're going to pick out specific target audiences. We're going to do research on the customer, the clients, the competition. And then we're going to take that research and we're going to turn that into a creative strategy. And that creative strategy will have a big idea. It'll have a slogan, a customer promise, and it just keeps building along to our final product, which of course is coming up with a creative campaign. So, and the discussion this week is looking or finding a big company like a McDonald's and trying to guess from their slogan, I'm loving it, who their target audience is. Are they reaching it well? Does their strategy that we're substituting the slogan for, does it work? So we'll talk about that as a class, and I wish you guys luck. I'm looking forward to looking at your discussions and seeing your statements.